Money is always on my mind. I'm sure when you have BN over and all of that, they're going to say that I stole some money. But then that's, yeah, I know that's going to come up. So
What's your version of that story?
So they are it's just exaggerating. I did not steal their money.
Yeah.
Safaricom Live at that time, like it changed our lives because the amount of money that we were given, that was the first time like we saw, a few millions.
Yeah.
Just like a guy.
How much did Live and Die cost?
It cost about 100 million.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
As an artist, you do the things you don't want to do the things you want to do.
Yeah. What's the maximum amount you've had in like current account that's just sitting there, not earning interest? People say there's no mutual breakup, right? People say there's no, there's never a mutual breakup. How difficult was it for you in that process or whatever discussions you guys were having?
It was weird because this is what we've only ever known. Mm-hmm. It was a weird feeling.
Yeah.
And yeah, it hurt. It hurt, but we also are therapists together.
Yeah.
Like
a couple.
We always.
Welcome back to Financially Incorrect. I am your host, Barak, and remember, this is a podcast proudly sponsored by FXpesa. If you'd like to learn about trading, if you'd like to trade, we have links in the description box for you to be able to take some online classes. If you're looking to trade shares, currencies, commodities like gold, oil, FXpesa is your trusted partner. Again, all the links will be in the description box. Please go ahead and do that. Today we are starting, I think like 2 or 3 episodes ago, I talked about a really cool collaboration that we'll be taking on. So we are in collaboration with the Sauti Sol group, and we're going to be talking to the 4 core members of the Sauti Sol and going to be finding out about their financial journeys individually, and then hopefully we'll be able to do a group episode as well that will be done a little exclusively, but details for that yet to come. So the first guest that we have today for our collaboration is none other than Chimano.
Yay! How you doing?
Yeah. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. Welcome to
having...
Financially Incorrect.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Last time I saw you was 2020. It's been like 4 years now.
Yeah.
On another podcast.
On another podcast. But we've been seeing each other just randomly here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the last time we probably had a sit down.
Yeah. Proper chat.
The proper chat.
So so we'll get into it. And then we're going to talk about your money. Yeah.
Oh,
Are you still driving the Range Rover?
Yeah, I still have my Range Rover. It's my baby. I've had it for. It's never. I've seen people really like to trash that Range Rover because they're just like, oh my god, when you buy it, you're gonna be at the mechanics all the damn time.
Yeah.
But I've had it for almost 8 years now. Mm-hmm. It's a Range Rover Sport. I've had it for almost 8 years now, and that baby still drives like a dream.
How often are you at the garage?
Not only when it needs to be serviced.
Yeah. It's
not
giving you problems.
It rarely. The only problem I've ever had is when the battery died.
Yeah.
But no, the thing with that car, what I've learned is that you need to be ready with resources to fix it when it demands to be fixed. Mm-hmm. So I religiously make sure it's taken care of and it's fixed.
Yeah.
Whenever I've never had like. Yeah, apart from the battery, I've never had like a Christmas tree glow on my dashboard.
Yeah.
Of like
of issues.
Yeah, it's been amazing, and also it's the one that I think it's the one before. It's not heavily electronic.
Okay.
So it doesn't have a lot of electric components in it, the sensors and everything.
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing, and I don't know. I love it.
Yeah.
I haven't found or felt the need to get another one.
Though
the pressure was there, but
at
at some point I was just like, no, it's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess as we're getting into it, to give context, we're shooting this on today's Tuesday. The 16th. The 16th. Yeah, like the day people are going to the streets.
Yes.
Well, are supposed to be on the streets.
Yeah,
From where we are right now, we can't really see anything. But just your thoughts on the general climate right now in the Kenyan context in everything that's happening? Yeah. Were you on the streets for starters?
Yes,
Yeah.
I was on the streets on the actual D-Day.
Yeah.
When Parliament was broken. I don't want to say broken into.
yeah.
Occupied.
Yeah.
Yeah. When Parliament was occupied, and wow. First of all, just being on the streets and to protest against the finance bill. At that point, it felt like, yeah, like, yes, like, what the hell, is going on? Not even to get too much into it. It's you look at how peaceful, and you look at all these young people. I guess I'm still young.
Yeah.
But then,
Well, if that guy on the guy who was it on Citizen who said
Yeah.
he's Gen Z, and you know,
you just
it's-
like, well,
yeah,
I'm me.
some
I'm
mentality,
an
yeah.
older millennial anyway.
yeah.
I'm an 87, so I think I'm an older millennial. Man, it was just so disheartening to look at the powers that be trying their best to quash what is meant to be a peaceful protest.
Yeah.
Because there's so many countries around the world that actually do protests, and you have thousands, hundreds of thousands of people on the streets. I remember watching, for example, a country that knows how to protest, Thailand, for
Yeah.
example.
Yeah.
They know how to protest. And not saying that we don't. It's just that the right to picket, like, it's respected.
Yeah.
And it's not interfered with. At the end of it all, being there was amazing, but it was just also so sad. Just like these people, they will never learn.
Yeah.
Which is why they won't believe.
Yeah.
And I would say it's just the current climate. I feel like Kenya we're just getting tested.
Yeah.
And also I do feel, to an extent, I do believe in my heart, this is a country that will change the perception of this continent, and it'll be the country that will help emancipate the other countries around us,
Yeah.
or countries on this continent.
Yeah.
Because we just, when Kenyans set their mind to anything, they we do it. We're go-getters.
Yeah.
When we know what we want. The current climate, unfortunately, you have just this crop of, especially this batch. You have this batch that is just the arrogance that you witness. And also the dismissiveness of, just that thing of, like, now it's just that now they're realizing that we can't do that shit anymore.
Yeah.
But then before, you're like, young people, like, as a young person, you're demonized. You're just like, you what do you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not, but this time, do you know what it's growing pains.
Yeah.
It's growing pains, and it hurts, but you know what, let's keep at it.
Yeah.
Because we can't go back to how things were.
Yeah, we can't.
We can't.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Something's got to give.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100% agree. We just can't go back to where things were. Something definitely has to change, even if whatever the eventual outcome is going to be at the end of the day, something just has to change. There has to be better responsibility, fiscal responsibility, has to be better accountability. And I just think it's incredible how I was thinking about it, like, if this was us in a therapy room, like, with the Kenyan government as one person,
Yeah.
and the Kenyan people
Yeah.
as a second person, you're talking
Yeah.
to a couple therapists,
Yeah.
and it's like, you as a Kenyan government, you're fighting so hard
Yeah.
to not be accountable.
Accountable.
Like, you're doing everything else
Yeah.
other than wanting to be accountable. And anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. Hopefully things go well. Hopefully today nobody is killed. Hopefully today people
Yeah.
don't get arrested for just exercising their right to picket, and hopefully it goes well. I guess we'll see at the end of the day.
We'll see at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into it, right?
Yeah.
First question. How often do you think about making money?
How often do I think about
Yeah.
making money? I mean, every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every single day.
How many times a day do you think about making money? They'll be like, I need, whether it's consciously or unconsciously.
Whenever I'm buying something.
Yeah.
Whenever money leaves my account. I'm just like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm just like, wait, these are the prices now?
Yeah.
This is what things cost?
Yeah.
Okay. No. So yeah, it hurts.
Yeah.
Like when okay, so yeah, so I've become very frugal.
Yeah.
But yeah, subconsciously, when I'm thinking about work, when I'm thinking strategy and everything, yeah, money is always on my mind.
Yeah.
And it's as a result of just maybe thinking creatively of like the things that I want to do and where it is I want to go. So yeah, definitely.
When do you think that started? Like, when do you think you started consciously thinking about money? You know how, like, when you're a kid, you don't really think about money. You just think about the things that you want, and not
Yeah.
necessarily about money. You'd be like, buy me this or buy me that.
So when in terms of like when I thought of how
When you started thinking consciously about money,
oh wow. I started thinking consciously about money. I think it was by the time I was just about ready to move out of my folks' house.
yeah,
Because it's understanding that I'm still under their roof and I still have to follow certain rules, and I need to figure out a way to fend for myself.
Yeah.
For me to get out of here.
Yeah.
So yes, that's when I really, really started thinking about money. And of course, the one thing led to another, and my first paycheck. And slowly by slowly, then I think after my first paycheck, which was with Sauti Sol anyway, it was so weird. Our first paycheck was 20K, which then 20K was not bad.
Yeah.
Divided amongst 4 people.
Yeah.
So and I didn't have a bank account even at that point.
Yeah.
I think I remember after I got it, I didn't open a bank account immediately. I think it was with the next paycheck. After I got it, I went home, didn't even tell my folks that I'd earned any money. First of all, we went and had a burger and fries together because
As
we were
one
just
must.
like, oh my
Yeah.
God, yes, these are the rewards of the job. So then went home. At that time, my folks and I were staying in Tena Estate, next to Donholm. I had my own room. Got there and then just I had even then I still had a lot of clothes. So and then I just like slipped it under, like in the wardrobe under, because there was
Yeah.
a newspaper that was
Yeah.
where my clothes were, so covered in the wardrobe and then clothes, and then just like slipped it under there. So I used to like go and tuna
Yeah.
every time I
so
did, like when and my folks were just like, "Bueno, new Lizzie fair." I was just like yeah, it is what it is. But that I think after that, the freedom that afforded me, it was the freedom of movement and the freedom that I could buy whatever I want, the
Yeah.
freedom of like, this is what money can do, your hard-earned money
Yeah.
at that point.
Okay.
So it's been a slope since then.
And what was your focuses like? I mean, you're talking about being in Tena Estate, so
Yeah.
what? And maybe I can ask this question in 2 parts. What was it like when you were growing up? You know, in the innocence of what you were watching and going through,
Yeah.
and now when you look retrospectively, do you look at it now with a different lens and be like, actually, you know, it wasn't as rosy as I thought it was?
Looking back, I guess every millennial my age, our growing up was, it's kind of like we were living the same lives,
Yeah.
but then parallel to each other,
Right.
But if we are going to talk about in terms of like money and the
Yeah.
relationship of growing up,
Yeah.
man, like money, was, we were never made comfortable around money. You know, it was money was always removed from here. Whenever you go to the shop, even just a little change, you need
Yeah.
to give it back.
Yeah.
There was the accountability in that money needed to be brought back. There was
Yeah.
an honesty factor.
Yeah.
But the notion of being taught about money or being made comfortable around money was just, it was like that. That's the thing that, you know, the parentals have.
Yeah.
That's a thing that they own.
Yeah.
So it was, we were never, it's the relationship with money was never really there. I always used to want, and also there was just never any money all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I look back and I'm just like, there was never any money to do anything. And not like there was no money. It's
Yeah.
just like the default answer.
Setting
that,
was-
that was
no.
the default setting. So money was never presented to
Yeah.
us. And also I guess for the parentals, maybe it was just I know maybe at no fault of their own. Probably it's also how maybe how they grew up, and for them it was about making sure they keep they keep their resources, and they were very walikuwa sana watoto kuchuna pia
Yeah, yeah.
with bank accounts though.
Right,
But
right.
I remember the one thing now, slowly by slowly, I was given as a birthday gift. I think maybe I was like 7 or something like that. Was because Cooperative Bank was doing a whole lot of advertising about the Jumbo Junior account. So I remember my birthday gift was a Jumbo Junior account and the little piggy.
Right.
The little
The-
piggy, yeah, with the to put in your coins. That was I would say my first introduction into saving money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but then also it was as a result of watching Jumbo Junior doing this whole campaign for
Yeah.
kids' bank accounts.
Yeah.
There was always another money container in the house, the black Mabati one. That so I guess also probably my mom was not really. My mom had an account, I guess.
Yeah.
But also she kept that just for like a rainy day, like you never know.
Right,
That
right.
was her version of a mattress account, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So money was never. Money was always a very quiet topic. It's only now in my grown up years where now I started earning money and I started being free with my money, and started throwing it around, and but also still to this day I can't tell my folks, especially my mom, like I spent. This is the amount I spent on this, or this
Yeah.
is the rent I pay,
Yeah.
or like this is I can't.
Yeah.
Because like she'll be like, "Are you mad?
Yeah.
Are you crazy?"
Yeah.
So I just
I mean, but do you think her response to that would be in relation to her not knowing how much you make, or is it just her default centric around the value of money? Money is more important
Yeah.
and should be used for more important things.
yes,
Yeah.
because and the thing is that as well, even if I do tell or I have a slip of the tongue and
Yeah.
I tell my folks like, okay, I spent this on this, or I buy my folks or I buy my mom like a nice bag or whatever, and it slips that this is what it costs. She's like, hata how much, hata ungenipatia hiyo ni tununue mchanga tumalize hii kitu hapa tulikuwa tunafanya. It's just that. So
Right.
it's now I find myself in a position where I have to almost now teach them what my relationship with money is.
Yeah.
Because I've had to learn quickly, like money is not, it's not my master, it's a means to an end.
Yeah.
So it's not something that I'm going to worship really.
Yeah.
Which probably also I've made also bad decisions because of that's my philosophy.
Yeah.
I'm never going to like treat money like, oh my God. So yeah, so then because of that, I've ended up like spending money, finishing it, going broke, coming back, and all of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my that's my little story of my family relationship.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, I still have my cold.
No.
So I had that COVID hybrid flu thing
that was going around.
So if I feel like I'm getting choked, and sorry,
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to move a little bit now to, I guess, choosing your career path, right? And
Yeah.
the moment that you're making a deliberate decision
Yeah.
to pursue entertainment and pursue music fully. At that point in time, if you can remember, did you have any considerations around money, around how much money you would potentially make if you went down this path?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just knew that dang, I'm gonna be a multimillionaire, and like we're gonna live like rock stars, and we're gonna tour the world.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy any car that I want. I'm gonna
Yeah.
live in a nice house. Some of those happened.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, I will say like as well in the beginning with the starting out, because I always knew that I wanted to be a singer, an artist, but then also my first love was journalism. So I also thought that I was going to be a news anchor. That's if Funny enough, actually, being a news anchor was my first choice. The music was there, but I just wasn't sure how I was going to navigate that. I was going to be a news anchor because I studied journalism and at Nairobi Uni, and I did broadcast major. And I was just like, do you know what? Even went for some screen tests, and I was just like, And also, like, yeah, news anchors make money, and then,
Yeah.
like, they look
When
good.
wear,
and,
good
like,
suits and all
yeah,
those
it's just
things.
like, I just have to read the news, do a journalism. Respect to the profession, please. So, so then there's that, and then then right after uni, oh no, actually just in between there, then I got an internship at Homeboys Radio to be for a radio presenter post. And also then I was, and in that moment, Sauti Sol had just kind of like started. So then I was trying to balance because I was just like, okay, I think this could work. And also, yeah, funny story because I started my internship with Mwalimu Rachel and Delambaya. So Mwalimu Rachel, Delambaya, and I, like, we were all in the same. We had like this graveyard shift show for interns.
Right.
So. So it's amazing seeing Mwalimu Rachel where she is now.
Yeah.
How you doing, girl? Yeah. So with that, I thought I was going to be able to pursue that as well, but that didn't work out. So I chose a dream and I chose an instinct. And I was just like, you know what? No. And also I guess I didn't like the routine of it all. So I was like, I can't. Like, I'm waking up and then like this is my schedule for the week.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't. So anyway, so
that's what tips the scales, and then
yeah.
you then go to the music.
Yeah,
the music side.
and also it felt right.
Yeah.
It felt right, so it wasn't really a gamble. It was just like I believed.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, actually, do you know what? Let's see where this is going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess in that moment, even the money conversation really, it wasn't amongst the four of us. It wasn't really there. It was mostly, it was a dream. It was a dream. It was us to get somewhere. It was how do we make sure? How do we get a deal? How do we record? Like, we were just doing the music for love.
And between that period and when you got this first 20K that you're splitting among the four of you, how long is that? What's the period between?
Months.
Yeah.
Yeah, months. Because we used to rehearse like at Central Park. So yeah, I don't know if that's was it Agote? Well, I can't remember what gig it was. And someone was just like, "Do you guys should do a gig, or rather, we have a gig for you, blah blah blah, and we'll pay you 20K." And you're just like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Sorry, and when you get the 20K, is it automatic that you're splitting it four ways? Is that the thought that you have in mind, or?
And I think
do you talk about it?
And probably I'm mixing up like events, but then I remember I'm probably mixing up. But then I know there was a 20K somewhere and there was a 50K somewhere.
Yeah.
But then I will say, like, the most that I do remember about is that when we got the 50K, first of all, Bien is one who's just like, he saw it because it was given it was after a gig at Goethe Institute, I think. So then it came and then in an envelope. Then Bien was just like, "Hey, I don't want to touch it. No, give it to Chimano." And then I took it. So then I took it, and then it was at that time it was automatic that it split four ways.
Yeah.
So there was never any second guessing or qualm about how the split of the money was going to go.
Yeah.
It was always just going to be equal.
Yeah.
From get go. And even in that moment you could tell there was the 50K as well. At that time, 50K, 20K, I told you I'm mixing up my stories. But then at that time still, that was quite a bit. I remember that 50K lasted for a while. But then it was 50K split amongst four. That's okay.
That comes to what, like...
15.
What's 50 divided by 4?
15K.
Like 12.5.
12.5. Yeah, that lasted.
Yeah.
that money lasted. Also,
Yeah.
this was like in 2000.
So even at this point, you guys aren't reinvesting in yourselves. When the money's coming, you're splitting it, and everyone does what they want to do.
We were splitting it. We were splitting it. I'm sure when you have BN over and all of that, they're going to say that I stole some money, but then that's I know that's gonna come up. So
What's your version of that story?
so they are it's just hyperbole.
Yeah.
Just exaggerating. I did not steal their money.
Yeah. And this is at the very beginning.
This is at the very beginning
Yeah.
because at some point they decided they were going to use my account
Yeah.
to store some money,
Yeah.
a percentage. Then I don't know, it just got mixed up with my groceries and like because I was also using the same account for my things.
Yeah.
So I was just like, so in their calculations they decided that I stole 30K.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, for some reason, on principle, I've decided I'm not returning 30K
Yeah.
because I didn't steal it.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's fine. I took the emotional damage.
Yeah.
All these years.
So, but so even at that point, when you're talking about them using they make a decision to use your account, why do you not have a Sauti Sol account at that time, a separate one?
Because we were so, I think it's really not like now in terms of the information that's out there and as well how I guess easy there's some steps to the bureaucracy that was there.
Yeah.
So opening a business and all of that's not information that I'd say we were privy to or we ever even thought of.
Yeah.
Because at the end of it all, even if we did go to the bank, something you'll be told like open, it's a business, so you need to open a business account. Then at that time, it's not like you can. I think you can open a business online right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it should be possible. Yeah.
Then you had to go to like the register of businesses. And,
Yeah.
and it was all manual
lawyer.
labor.
Yeah,
it was
right,
just
right.
it was, and it wasn't. It really wasn't something that we had. Thought of anywhere in our purview, like nowhere.
Yeah.
So having the one account was just good for the moment, and also it's not like we didn't have like a consistent stream
Of
income
at the
stream
time.
coming in.
Yeah.
It was just here and there, but slowly by slowly it started increasing. And I think eventually after now we got signed, then eventually that's when we were told like you all need to open a business account.
Yeah.
And and we've had it since then.
Okay.
Same account.
And why you, out of the four of you, why was your account chosen?
Because I think I come across as very trustworthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I come across as trustworthy, and I think I was the only one with an account actually.
At the time.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
So I was just like, also
Fair enough.
forward thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How were you guys surviving at the time? Well, you personally, how were you surviving at the time? Are you still living at your folks' place at this time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lived with my folks up until 2011.
Yeah.
So I was still there. I was still there, and also you can imagine, to an extent, also like after performances, I'd either probably carry all the cash with me home, and then and also this time we were still getting public transport. It's only that when we started earning a bit more money, then we had this cab guy. I keep forgetting his name. So we used to take this cab, and there were no Ubers then. So you take this cab, and then he used to do the rounds. I was an old ass car.
Yeah.
Drop BN in Rongai, Kunkoroi, then drive all the way. Drop a Polycarp in K South. Drop Savara in Salem. Drop Chimano in Tena. After a gig, that was a journey. You have to make another journey. It was just a way. Also, we were young. It was just a way of as well saving money.
Yeah.
But literally still living at my folks. My folks didn't, they didn't like me being out late at night, and they still didn't understand what was happening.
Yeah.
What were you doing? But I was earning my own money. I wasn't asking them for money for anything.
Yeah.
So I guess that counted for something, and I was contributing to like groceries and everything at the house.
Okay.
It was an interesting period, such that it was very simple, such that the little money that we did have really was long, for our age, because I guess we were 21, 22. So that money really, it spread.
Yeah.
Because we were just like, okay. It was good. It was a good, simple life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At that time.
At the time.
All right. So what then is the record label or the signing of the record, is that the thing that then sort of shifts you guys' focus, or your focus to then getting more quote unquote serious? And how much is your first record deal worth?
So no, it shifted, not necessarily the money conversation. It just shifted the work ethic conversation and the work, because now we needed to like start on our album and all of that. I would say the record label was a non-profit run by a Dutch organization. So we didn't necessarily we didn't get an advance, and also at that time they what did they do? So they offered to record two albums for us. So and of course at that time they quantified it in euros, and also in that time when we exchanged, we were just like, oh my god, that's quite a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I think because it was like maybe like, I don't know, maybe $1 million bob at that time. So we're just like, guy, that's a lot of money. But then also we're just like, oh, so we're not paying for this. So you mean they are paying
For you guys to
for
record.
us to record? It's like, okay, cute, let go. Looked at the contract, it was nice. It worked. So we really, the money conversation, it was still very just neither here nor there. I mean, we recorded, then we went on our first tour. But then slowly by slowly, we started understanding what it takes to run this thing called music.
Yeah.
To run this enterprise, in terms of like what it costs for like air tickets, what it costs for living expenses, what it costs to get your visas, the mental stress that it all is, as well, like when we're in Amsterdam, for example, because that's where one of the stops where we stayed for like almost 3 months. Like how we were all surviving on like 50 euros a day. Because now we needed to, they used to give us like, so imagine 50 euros, that's like 5K, thereabouts, 6K.
Yeah.
So 50 euros, and then so per day.
Yeah.
Wait, was it per day?
How much?
No, it was per day. It was per day.
So
So because
and that's to cover your food.
that's 4 of us.
Yeah.
And 3 instrumentalists. And so it's to cover all our food. Yeah, actually, I think it was 50 euros a week. No, yeah, because we used to go and get shopping for the week. Yeah.
So were you guys being housed at?
Yeah, so we're being housed
Okay.
all together. So then we used to find the cheaper grocery store. So there's Amsterdam, then there's a big canal which crosses right through. There's a big, like, I don't know if there's canals, but then there's a bigger one where the ferries pass. So you have to cross
Right.
over to the other side, go to the cheaper store, like literally look at the prices,
Yeah.
and mind you, like being here, I had never done that extensively, but then there we had to do it, and then it was in euros. So the concept of budgeting
Yeah.
for all of us
Was coming from there.
It was coming from there because we had to, and it was the understanding of like what it costs to just do this thing.
Yeah.
Before you have any returns.
Yeah.
And at that time as well, I remember our first show was at an old people's home.
An old people's home.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah.
Like
Do we
wheelchairs.
actually have old people's homes in Kenya? Do you know if we have old people? We do.
We do, but it's not. I guess maybe, I don't know if this. My theory is here as well. Like it's not like maybe in the Europes, because
like guys go to
here guys
shags.
you have your shags, you have your ancestral land, you have they're more taken care of here, and I don't know. I really I still haven't seen like an old people's home here
Chico
that's
says
like,
there's one.
yeah.
Google it for us. We'll see it before we finish. No, I'm genuinely curious. Anyway, so you said your first show was at old people's home.
Old people's home, and
Yeah.
then you get there, you just see like a lot of wheelchairs and people like whatevers, and we'll get there someday. And I was just like, oh wow. But the thing is that even then, shows like what they were paying us was like €100 a gig.
Yeah.
Two
And
hundred and
when you get to
fifty.
these old people's home, like what are the thoughts that go through your mind? Are you like, what's happening? This is not what I signed up for or what I was hoping
No,
for.
it was I don't know. It was interesting. Um, there was never a thought of like, oh God, is this no? It was. It just immediately felt like this is what we have to do to get to the top. It's fine. It's
Yeah.
okay. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what we have to do. Like we're in hustle mode right now.
Yeah.
We're literally in hustle mode. We know mode. We know what we're building. We know what we want to build. So yeah, let go.
Did they know any of your music?
No, like we had just finished recording our album, so like it was just an African band coming to play,
To entertain them.
literally to entertain, and that was for every other event we went to. It wasn't, and also it's not like it's not now like that was. It's amazing how 10-15 years stuff can change
So rapidly. Yeah.
and especially how African music and Africans and what it means to be an African artist and those conversations have changed and the value has also changed. The value has gone way up.
Yeah.
If you're an artist worth your salt, and even just there's more eyes on artists like from the continent now than there was then. Then you were just yele, like
Yeah.
just drums and you're an entertainer
Yeah.
and so a lot has changed, especially when you of course a lot more African artists are better off financially now than they were, because as well as I said value has changed, how the outlook has changed. So wow, then it really just felt it was such a hustle.
I mean, if you were to objectively compare the life that you guys were living
Yeah.
in Nairobi, on an everyday basis, vis-a-vis the life you were living in Amsterdam for 3 months,
Yeah.
what life was better?
I would say it's just different.
Yeah.
But I remember the first time we went to Europe, and then we were just like, oh my God, people live like this. People live here. People wake up to this. Just things are working.
Yeah.
People are not stressing about transport, roads, healthcare. And we were just like, it must be nice.
Yeah.
It must be so nice. I think for us, it was a culture shock of it all.
Yeah.
That you can be somewhere and the system is actually working for your benefit.
Yeah.
I remember the first time we came back from Europe in 2009 after our tour. We were so over it when we landed at JKI. We were just like, what is this?
Yeah.
Why? And then you get on Mombasa Road, you're just like, oh my God. Oh,
Yeah. The traffic at the time.
the traffic,
Yeah.
and then you're just like, what is this unplanned mess?
But I mean, the money-wise, it must have been not easy even in Europe, because if you're talking about €50 a week,
it wasn't easy at all. And
Yeah.
but then, and also that's the thing, the beauty or rather the saving grace as well at that time is that the money that you earn there, which wasn't even a lot, and a lot of it went back to paying bills. And some of it also went back to the label for because the label needs to recoup.
Yeah.
But still, the money still was a bit long here. The standard of living is affordable.
Yeah.
So yes, in Europe it's a bit of a struggle. Like you need to what you need to earn as a minimum wage.
Yeah.
is here would be middle class.
Right.
So yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, financially, yes, you can't just stay.
Yeah.
It was expensive to
Yeah.
be there.
Yeah.
It was so expensive.
Yeah.
Especially just watu nane, 4 boys who eat, the 8 boys who are eating,
Yeah.
who needed to be transported, it was quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we continue with this money story and this money journey, allow me to talk to you about one of our sponsors for today, and that is Loop. If you've ever been in a financial pinch where you've just needed a little bit extra cash, Loop is a solution for you, right? Loop have two solutions that they can give you where they can give you a little bit extra cash. One is as an overdraft, which you can get immediately you join onto the app. The limit keeps increasing as you keep on transacting. The second one is a feature to be able to get loans. And for loans, the magic number you need to think about is 90 days. As soon as you've been transacting on Loop for 90 days, you qualify for a set of loans. Of course, again, the loans are set against terms and conditions, but you will have access to be able to get easy loans and overdrafts, all from tapping a button on your phone. So Loop is your financial partner and your partner to be able to get you out of sticky financial situations. Please download the app in the link in the description box. And if you have any questions, we will leave the number in the description box for you to be able to reach out to the customer care service. When do you get your first official salary from Sauti Sol, the Sauti Sol group, to then have a discussion of saying, okay, we will be paid monthly X amount, from the company? And what are the things that you had to put in place for you guys to be able to have that kind of structure?
So I would say, after it all, I think when we were signed up for Safaricom Live, then Safaricom Live was Ask Mula, I think, P Unit, Jimmy Gate. I would say Safaricom Live at that time, like, it changed our lives because the amount of money that we were given, that was the first time, like, we saw, a few millions, and you were just like, guy,
Yeah.
what is that? Like a few millions, like, at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, and in, like, at a go.
Yeah.
And we were just like, oh, okay, let go. So I think when that happened, there was and also it was that thing, like, we were getting paid in installments. So when that happened, at some point, our accountant as well was just like, we were just like, let's not split this money like in chunks or whatever. So then our accountant was just like, let's introduce a model where you actually get paid a salary. Because now this was the first time that we could actually have a consistent flow of income.
Yeah.
And also a consistent working of the account.
Yeah.
So, like, the account has money, and, like, there's transactions happening in our account, which as well will be good for the business.
Yeah.
So so that really was the first time. And in the beginning, I was just like, okay, let's see. But it worked out like magic, like a beauty. And then after it all, that's been the model up till today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that, I would say, that was really the first
After Safaricom Live.
During Safaricom Live and all of that, it was like, okay, and it felt secure. Yeah, it did feel secure.
So even when how did you guys decide the salaries that you're gonna be paid? And can you tell us what your first Sauti Sol salary was, if you can remember?
How did we decide? So if my memory serves me right, we decided to first of all split it 5 ways. So, or rather, pay salaries 5 ways. And the 5th member is Sauti Sol, the entity itself. So the salaries are going to be paid out to Chimano, Polycarp, Savara, BN, and Sauti Sol. So that was the thinking. So that the account maintains my financial. My stomach is rumbling. It's that coffee. So that the account stays as well, like, with money, and there's money there's money there. In terms of how much it was, I think it must have been 150K per month.
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong.
And this was
2013.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
2013. Yeah. Or maybe maybe 2014, 15. Yeah,
Yeah.
between there,
Around
there.
between 13 to 15 there.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, it must have been around. Yeah, must have been around 100, 150
Yeah.
per month.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are you doing with your 150 then now at that point? Because you say you move out in 2011, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So between 2011 and this period, you're sort of your income isn't consistent.
It's not. Yeah, it's not consistent, but then it's consistent. It's
enough.
consistent enough.
Yeah.
Enough because now eventually what happened is that in 2011 when I moved is that we decided that we needed to move in together.
Okay.
So that we're in the same space. First of all, it saves money, but then most of all, it's not about money. It saves time. Because time is money, of course, and also it brings us closer. We're able to finish our projects quicker. It just and you just as a band you just need to be in the same space to be able to create together and to develop your sound. And at that point in our careers, it was paramount that happened. So we moved in together, which was one of the best decisions ever, because now, everyone's in the same space.
Yeah.
If we're all late, if someone's late, we're all late.
Yeah.
Like if we're going somewhere, we're all turning up at the same time.
Yeah.
It was just easy to do stuff.
Okay.
And as well, we could save our monies altogether.
Yeah.
I remember at that time as well, we had our first manager. She had a car that she.
Who was your first manager?
She's called Ninka. She was a Dutch woman.
Okay.
Who still we're best friends, and but at some point she decided to move back to Holland because she needed to go back and work in her family business. So she had her car, a nice 3-door Pajero that Savara still has, by the way. It's a cute car. It was a car that was acquired in '87 by, I think, a French guy. It was driven all the way from France to Cape Town.
On that Great North Road.
Yeah,
right.
and back to Nairobi. And then I think now Ninka bought it from him. I still have all its mechanical records. I think I'm the one who does. Yeah, all its mechanical records from the 80s. It's pretty interesting. So that car is what we were now. So we had a car.
Yeah.
So somewhere so we didn't need to as well spend money on cabs or we did take matatus here and there. I remember Double M. Then we used to take it up, or I can't remember, not OTC, somewhere there. There was that. So everything worked. Everything worked out in terms of, and as well, like grocery shopping, it was all together.
Yeah.
Those guys. Oh my God, Polycarp and Nani. Polycarp and Savara, where they used to eat.
Yeah.
My goodness. But anyway,
Did it in any way affect your budget, your grocery budget?
But also we did buy a lot.
Yeah.
We did buy a lot of groceries then.
Okay.
And also the groceries then were also just it was just like beans, dengus, noodles,
Right.
and you need we buy it in bulk, rice, ugali, like whatever. We used to buy it in bulk, so it was quite a lot.
Yeah.
So really, it really didn't dent anything really, but So and in regards to like what I was doing with my money then
In 2011.
in 20 wow. Literally I didn't do anything. Like it was just in my account. Literally sitting in my account.
Yeah.
But it was also, I was young and I loved having a good time. So I was going out quite a bit, spending it on booze.
Being out.
And being out.
Yeah.
And
But like nothing about saving, nothing about
No, I tried to save here and there. So
Yeah.
I had another account, like a fixed account where I tried to save. But because the money wasn't as consistent, so I used to run out quickly and then go
Then I
and
go back
dig.
to-
Yeah, then I just dig in my coffers.
savings
I'm just like,
account.
it's fine. When I get paid, I'm going to return.
I'm
And
going
then
to
the money
do that.
comes, and then you
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then but then I would say then after now we got a bit of a consistent check. Of course, the first thing I did was I bought a car.
Okay. So 2015, when you're getting your 150K
yeah,
salary.
about 2013, 20, I think it's
between 2013 to 2015.
Yeah.
You get your salary. First thing you do is go and buy a car.
I bought a car. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bought a car. A cute little blue Toyota IST. I was so proud of myself.
Yeah. Had you saved the money and bought it cash, or was it on a payment? On a payment
No,
plan?
it was on a payment plan.
Okay.
Was it? No, it wasn't. Was it? Oh my God, I don't remember.
Yeah.
No.
How much was the car?
I think the car was, oh my God, like 700, 800K?
Okay.
Yeah, I think I bought it outright. I think I.
So you
yeah.
saved for a while and then bought it, or it was this savings now that you went into.
I think
it?
I had.
Yeah.
So because I paid a deposit, and then when the car was delivered, I paid the rest. Yeah, I didn't.
It was on a payment plan.
Yeah, actually, how did I have that money? Yeah, no. I remember. I remember. It wasn't a payment plan.
Yeah.
My second car was a payment plan.
Yeah.
Because it was an upgrade, but yeah, I bought it. I bought it
Outright.
outright.
Outright cash.
Yeah, it was amazing. We lived in Buruburu phase 5 at that phase 4, 5.
Yeah.
At that time, that's where we moved in together.
And when you were buying the car, was it clearing your savings? Was it finishing the money that you had put together?
Yeah, I think it did.
Yeah.
It did. But I knew there was money coming in anyway.
So you were like,
So I was just like, let
Yeah.
me. And also at that time, for me it was the pride of I bought it outright.
yeah,
I bought it outright. I was just like, I'd seen Amadeni,
Yeah.
I bought it outright.
yeah,
Yeah, but then now I wouldn't buy a car outright.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
fair enough. All right. So, when you're buying it again, do the other boys, are they also buying cars?
Yes.
So you all bought cars at the same time?
No, but not at the same time.
Yeah.
So, BN had bought, but we bought cars around the same time. And also like we were also like we all peer pressured each other, not even by words of mouth,
Yeah.
just by actions.
Yeah.
So we always ended up just buying the same stuff, same clothes. When someone buys a car, it was just a domino effect.
Yeah.
So the patterns as to how we used our monies, it was all very, very similar. Very, very similar. And all our wants and needs were always just revolving around the same thing.
Yeah.
If it's, if it was the food, it was the music. But I will say, for Polycarp and Savara, they were buying a lot of musical gadgets, when they were just starting out their production. They spent a lot of their money on that. And also, what am I saying? And I also did spend a lot of money on like buying different instruments that I played and then I stopped.
Yeah.
And then I stopped because I used to play the saxophone.
Yeah.
I used to play a tenor sax. And then I bought the first one, and then I bought the second one. Still new, still in my house, still in its box. Don't. Many years later,
Yeah.
I just look at it and I'm just like, guy. Yeah, many years later, it's still there. It's still very new.
Yeah.
So there's that. Then I bought a guitar. Then there was a time. What did I? Then now I've not a guitar. Then a keyboard, whatever. Then now I bought a guitar, but that one I'm playing.
Okay.
Yeah. But so there's just some things here and there that also we were trying to find ourselves musically.
Yeah.
So then there were a lot of hits and misses in terms of what we were purchasing. But I would say generally our purchases were revolved in the day-to-day life.
Yeah.
Revolved around the same things.
Okay.
Yeah.
At what point do you feel who's the first person to feel like I need my own space now? Like we've been together for X period, and they're like, yeah, now I need my own space.
I think same. It was just when people started getting partners, or rather, no, eventually when people and their partners now they've been together for this while, and yeah, it was a transition that needed to happen. It's so funny because you would think that it would be one person who initiated something.
who's like, and is like
But
leaves.
funny enough, no. If everything, a lot of the things that we've done have always just been on the feeling that we have all felt. But yes, there is individuality. But then I will say, of course, the individuality really did come through when now I'm by myself.
Yeah.
Now that's when I started understanding like how I spend my money, for example. What are my wants? What are the useless things I buy? My weakness is I buy useless things. I spend my money on useless shit. I'm that one who I'll just be like a useless gadget like I've seen. I'm just like,
This looks cool.
this looks cool. Boom, how much? Then I buy it. So I have a weakness for buying useless stuff.
Yeah.
I'm that one who I'm the person who passed by a mall, and then they're selling like, I don't know, shapeshifters or shape something. I'm just like, and then I'm just standing. I remember I bought this thing like rolly thing.
Yeah.
Then I just go and stand on it, and then I'm just like, wee. So yeah, I'm just like that's that statement. Like, he'll do anything but lift a weight.
Yeah.
So then I bought that.
Yeah.
So I'm that kind of person. So it when I moved in by myself, that's when I started understanding. I had a lot more individuality.
Yeah.
In where my money goes, what my savings are going to look like, or how I'm going to save. What my wants and needs are.
Yeah.
It has been a steep learning curve.
Yeah.
Would I take anything back? Yes, probably, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess you guys then move out. Not really clear. Someone who comes and says, "Okay, I'm leaving," and then sort of domino effect sets the rest of you guys going. You sort of have a similar feeling, and you all sort of just go into your different spaces. I want to ask about, I guess, like the next phase of your career. I've heard in different entertainment circles that when you guys did the Live and Die
in Africa tour
was a changing point for your music, for the kind of music you guys were going to create. I want to ask whether, first of all, that's actually true, or whether it's just a rumor that sort of exists. The rumor was based, or what I've heard has been based on the fact that when you guys went around other than Nairobi and went to the different towns, you realized that the sound that you guys had was a little bit too modern and wasn't appealing to the rest of the country as well as you would have hoped it would have been, and that was a shift for you guys creatively.
It was I will say with Safaricom Live that was mostly what the shocker was.
Yeah.
That's when you do realize, especially at that time, in terms of like what there's Nairobi and there's Kenya in a way, of course they're all one.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're just like, yeah, there's a whole totally different what is it, the creative industry, or musicians who were wameshika mashinani at that time.
Yeah.
And you're just like, guys, so then mpaka at some point people are just like, ni wa Kenya, and that was during Safaricom Live. But I will say during Live and Die tour, because it was we made sure we tailor-made it to to make sure we get to the audience, to fans.
Yeah.
Where we know, like, where we're going to have our fans there, and also where we're going to pull in, where they're also just going to pull in like new people, and also for our fans who are in those areas who have never seen us live, especially with the kind of production that we carried around. The production element of that all was a big deal. It was a big deal because it was the first time something like that had been done by a one entity, which was quite a huge undertaking. So yes, yes, it, and it also in terms of what the reactions would be, the points you perform, and people are just like looking like, and you're just like, because that's something that's new. Because I remember like we had to build a particular stage in every region that we went to. If you want to talk about the cost, though,
Yeah. How much did Live and Die cost?
at that time it cost about 100 million.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. It
How much was sponsored and how much did you guys have to put any of
Yeah,
your
no,
money
it was sponsored quite a bit. It was we had title sponsor, because also it was also done together with Chrome. Chrome was the main
Yeah.
sponsor at that time, and other sponsors. Sorry, don't kill me. I've forgotten. So it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
That was a lot, and I remember as well. Like even after the whole tour, we still had we s- we still had debts to pay, which were into the millions, and that was like, oh wow, this is like big boy business now.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, this is what we spent, and as well the thing, what it took a lot of money, because here you are, there's no infrastructure in these other regions that would support the kind of show that we wanted to put up. So we had like 2-3 trucks on the road going to different places to build the stage. We employed about 100 crew, and all of that. So you have that, and then they build is it the arena or the big tent? Then you have this stage with a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
This, like, it was quite a huge undertaking.
Yeah.
And that was the first time that, as well, you look back and you're just like, okay, those times we were in Amsterdam, and like looking at what this will cost, then this is just a different version of that version.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereby you look at something and you see what it could potentially make.
Yeah.
But then what are the cost implications of it all?
Yeah.
So there's money. This is the money that was made.
Yeah.
It did make money.
Yeah.
But then also, what the cost implications. Who are you paying?
Yeah.
You're paying all these people. The moving parts of it all. The things, the unexpected that happen. What we loved about it is, it showed that it can be done.
Yeah.
And also it created it was also a way of showing how the creative industry, just by that one tour of like 6, 7, 8 shows,
Yeah.
can create employment
Yeah.
for a multitude, or rather for quite a number of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wonderfully stressful.
Yeah.
And also that was the first time we saw figures that we never thought that we would be able to see in our books.
Yeah.
That was quite something. And I remember sitting in the accounting meetings, and just being, okay, this is a lot.
I mean, you talk about 100 million. I mean, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a lot of money, and it's just, and also the, you have all these corporate sponsors and everything, who you make sure they're seeing. You have to make sure their demands are also met.
Yeah.
You have to your is it the KPIs or whatever?
Yeah.
Everything is met and all of that. It was interesting. And also we were running it by ourselves, our team.
Yeah.
Because also then Sauti Sol Entertainment, we had staff.
Yeah.
So we had like a staff of around 10, 11 people, and who
And you're
also
paying their salaries.
we are paying their salaries as well
Yeah.
every month. So you would find our monthly bills were quite a lot.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, yeah, and as well, how we came into a lot of money into our books very like that, and just the steep learning curve of how to handle it,
Yeah.
taxes and all of that. It was quite something.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Before we continue down that road, I want to take you back to what you're talking about for the Safaricom Live tour. Two questions. What was it like to, I guess, be performing in your country and feeling like the audience members aren't relating to you in the way that you wanted or hoped that they would relate to you?
I'd say I think they for Safaricom Live. You
Yeah.
meant?
Yeah.
It was a humbling experience. It was humbling because it just proved to us that we needed to work harder.
Yeah.
We needed to change, or rather try different things with our music. I would say, for example, after Safaricom Live, that's when we actually did Money Lava, because we were just like, okay, fine, let's try something different with our music, because it was very, at that time, whatever we were doing was niche. Like, we had our fans in Nairobi and all of that, but yeah, it was humbling.
Okay.
It was humbling to see and humbling to experience.
Yeah.
And as well, our people just look at you, and yeah, just look
So
at
they're
you.
not singing back. They're sort of just looking.
No, and also those days were like our first album. It was like our first album. We'd already released our second album, I guess. So it was
Yeah.
our first and second album days. So it hadn't really, especially with the second album, it hadn't really permeated. So but we put up a show anyway.
Yeah.
Put up a show. But then there was some amazing places. I remember Eldoret was wonderful. Meru was wonderful. It's just, that we just took it as a challenge, and we were just like, okay, fine,
Okay.
back to studio.
Okay. And even with this challenge, right? How much of it is passion driven and how much of it is commercially driven? I mean, is there a deliberate decision or choice or thinking around, guys, if we want to be able to make X amount of money, if we want to be able to attract 20,000 people, 30,000 people, we need to be able to appeal to more people. Therefore,
Yeah.
we need to make this decision. Or was it more like we just want to appeal more to our audience or appeal more to more Kenyans?
I guess sometimes as an artist, you do the things you don't want to do the things you want to do.
Yeah.
So, and also you need to be able to be malleable. Like, you need to be able to adapt, and sometimes and also it depends on what your principles are and what kind of artist you are. Maybe we would have just been like, we're not going to conform. We're not going to change anything. We're going to stick to this path. But I think what we knew where we wanted to go. We wanted a larger fan base. We wanted our music to just keep growing.
Yeah.
But then, and also, I don't know, we just felt we were versatile enough to cover any type of genre, any type of sound.
Okay.
And we were just like, what's the point of kwamilia like in one whatever, something that you know. So we're just like, no, let's try it.
Let's try it well.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you're to explain to me like a child, so to speak, what are the things that you then do deliberately to change your sound or to change your music that you now see starting to work, if you're able to crystallize it at all? Yeah.
First of all, it's one of those things, like, has to do like what's happening on the ground, like what's the culture like, and also your songwriting as well. To an extent, also what producer are you using? I remember that time when we wanted a song that is for the masses, so to speak, was Tulienda kwa RK. That time RK, and then how we write it had to be, we had to change it up a bit. There's a formula. There's always a formula, and also there's a simplicity in how it's don't think too hard about it. And also, if you're not able to do it by yourself, there's also songwriters and everything. It's not as hard. It's really not. If you want to experience, or if you want to change your sound to something, you just have to find the right people. If it's songwriters, if it's producers, and also you need to be willing, because at the end of it all, when we did it, we still had our element of who it is that we were. You also need to know yourself.
Yeah.
You need to also just know what kind of, like, who am I as a singer, as a musician, as a songwriter. Yeah. It's not it's rocket science.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine if you're true.
Okay. All right. Let's go
Yeah.
back to, I guess, post Live and Die, where now I guess your accountant books are increasing. Let me ask this: What are your, see if you'll answer, what are your salary increments under Sauti Sol Entertainment up to, let's see if you can give me up to 20 up to 2018, 2019? What are the kind of increments that you guys have for yourselves?
Should I call my accountant to find out if we pay taxes? Because
Yeah. Are they based on the amount of money you guys are making, or is it based on the value you think you're bringing to the organization?
it's the salaries have, in terms of them being equal, have never changed.
Okay, so they're
It's always been equal.
Okay.
We've all gotten an equal share.
Yeah.
Still though, but I will say,
Yeah.
I will say the increments increased on the incremental value of the brand.
Okay.
As the brand value increased, so did our salaries, because there was a consistent income that was coming in, and so the salaries increased.
Okay.
Over time.
Okay.
Yeah, over time, slowly but slowly.
Very politically
Yeah, I'm just like,
incorrect answer.
over time.
And what are you doing with your money over time as your salary is increasing? So
Yeah.
what are you doing over time?
Now, I think now it got into a place where we now started thinking about, of course, the future. But then also, I will say a lot of the money that also came into the company went back into the company for reinvestment. We invested back into our videos, into our marketing, and this was just us as independents.
How much does it cost you to produce the average Sauti Sol video?
Oh, at that time, because as well, like at that time, like videos were a thing. It's amazing just to see, like, you can shoot an amazing video, and then you still need to activate it. Anyway, at that time,
Yeah.
wow, melanin, for example, melanin cost 3 million shillings. I would say on average we were spending between 2 to 3 M
Per video.
Yeah, on average. Yeah. Yeah.
How do you calculate the ROI on that? Is there a
Well,
business case for spending 3 million or 2 million, 3 million on a
Yes,
music
I mean,
video?
for the brand that Sauti Sol was, especially at that time where it was like at the peak.
Right.
There's a certain way a video is your advertisement. Like that's the image that you crafted for yourself as an artist. It's how people defined your sound. It's how people put a picture, an image to your sound.
Yeah.
At the end of it all, videos are marketing tools. They can be thankless, but it's just one of those things that you have to make sure you're sure the marketing as well, in whatever the push of the song behind it, your PR and everything is together, because at the end of it all, yes, the video will be out and all of that, but it's the cogs that are moving at the back, the marketing, the PR, where is it going to play, and also those days, sending a video to MTV was a big deal. Sending a video to Trace was such a big deal. I remember how sometimes how much hurdles that we hit in some videos that were shot before, whereby you're told it has to look like this, the color correction has to be this, and you're just like, but guy, it was so many things. As compared to now, I'm just like, it's just amazing to watch. And just it's just me and my phone.
Yeah,
and like
and
we're
like that's
good.
it, yeah.
So it was just brand visibility.
Yeah.
Brand visibility. That's the ROI. Brand visibility. With that, people, especially people from other countries, they can identify who you are. You can, and all with that comes gigs, comes sponsorships, comes whatever. After that, you never know for the next video. You can get sponsorships. You can there's a whole other whatever. There's whole other things that do come about, or that do come from shooting videos. And it's just but it's mostly brand visibility. You need to be seen. We needed to be seen.
Yeah. Okay. And at that time, what are you like? What is Chimano doing with his money at that time? I guess with whatever increment your salary has gotten to at that point, what are you doing with your money?
Well, at that time, I got another car.
Did you sell the first one?
Yes,
bought a second one?
I did sell the first one.
Okay.
I did sell the first one. Got a cute car. It was an Audi A4. I was so happy. It was just fresh off the port. It was the new shape. It was so cute. Got it. But then this one I got on a plan, on a payment plan. As well, I think we all changed cars, by the way. Again. We all did.
Yeah.
But then also we started looking at, we got my health insurance. Needed to make sure that's there. I had started on an investment on an investment platform, saving whatever, where you put in money and then after like 5 years you get returns.
Right.
But then I kind of didn't. I stopped along the way because I was just, I don't know. Anyway, but otherwise, my money was just in the account.
It just sat in
my
the account.
money sat in the account.
Yeah.
And then I opened another account, but I opened another account where now I was just putting in like, if it was a fixed account, so I just threw it in there, threw like 2K, 5K, 10K, 50K, I'll adjust. Then I forgot about it. So that happened. But then eventually I needed to use it.
Yeah.
You
sound like
I'm not that interesting when it comes to like
money.
Oh my God. So now Forex. No.
You sound like you've had a lot of money in your current account. Let me ask you, what's the most amount of money you've had sitting in your current account? The reason I'm asking you is we've had NSC former CEO seated here, Geoffrey Odundo, who said his salary is never met. Right? He would ensure that his salary is never met month on month.
Okay.
I think Chris Njoki.
What does that mean? Salaries never met?
It would be gone. The money would be gone. Yeah. He whether it's an investment, whether it's in paying things, but he would make sure his salaries don't meet, right?
Okay.
Chris Njoki, I believe, said that she has a maximum, if I'm not wrong, of 50K in her current account.
Okay.
Let me see if I remember if there's anyone else who's made a specific. Has anyone else made a specific? Yeah. So I'm wondering, what's the maximum amount you've had in like current account? That's just sitting there, not earning interest, not doing nothing.
And this is an account that I have access to, not like a savings account.
Yes, an account that you have access to on a daily basis, yeah.
The most I've had,
Yeah.
maybe like 2.5.
Did you catch that? Just oh my gosh. Why did you have so much money sitting in the account?
I don't know.
Like it was
No,
just
yeah,
there.
there was, and also I think there was sometimes there was yeah, I don't know. There's just sometimes like I just never touched any money, and it's just I was just there. And there's some things maybe that we did, and there was a bit of maybe like a lump sum that came in,
Yeah.
or whatever. But then not there were like a few lump sums here and there. But then I just very frugal. I would still, I don't know. There was a time that I really did spend my money on like the wrong things, or maybe
Yeah.
I would spend it on, when I go out, just fun times.
Yeah.
And then there was just like, I don't know. There's times where I loved the fact that I wasn't touching my money, so I would
Yeah.
just hear.
Like you wanted to see money in
yeah,
in
when
your
I
account.
saw it, I was just like, oh, okay,
I have money.
yeah, but yeah.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. I mean, and I'm just like that is. I mean, just even on the interest alone. I mean, on a money market fund on a monthly.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
So that's the thing.
Yeah.
I am very. I would say like I can be very good at keeping money,
Yeah.
but then, but when I take it out, it'll be spending it on nice things, and then I just. I'm very, and also that also goes into what my relationship with money is.
Yeah.
I've always had this thing of like, when money will come, the way it came, the way it goes out, the way it came in and went out,
Yeah.
it's the same way. I think of it as just like, it's fine. And maybe it's the wrong way to think about it. I don't know. Maybe I'm spoiled. I don't know. It's just. And the unfortunate thing is that I've always struggled, with having, with investing.
Yeah.
With investing it, and I look back and I'm just like, oh my god, and also now I'm just like, Chimano, why?
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
so like right now, if I was going to ask, so what does your portfolio look like right now in terms of the different things you've put your money in? What does it look like? I mean, so we've talked about a health insurance plan,
yeah. Yes, an investment plan. Money market fund.
Okay.
The
Is there land? Is there property? Is there
yes,
businesses?
there's
Yeah.
we have two pieces of property which we
Okay.
all have together.
Okay.
We have two pieces of property.
So
And
even
also
even the property that you have is under the Sauti Sol.
it's it's property that is shared.
Okay.
So it's property that is
Okay,
shared.
okay.
And ideally not, and also the other thing, I'll say, is it money, or, and also we do have, I will say we do have our businesses that are running.
Yeah.
But yes, my money. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've like mostly, so I do no.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
A question as well.
Just like,
on,
where this is an open book here.
A question on private gigs in Nairobi.
Right.
Again, from the grapevine, I gather that there's quite a number of very wealthy individuals who will pay entertainers good amount of money to have private gigs in their houses and stuff like that. So, first of all, maybe confirm or deny.
Confirm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
How many of those kinds of gigs are there? Because they're gigs that nobody will hear about.
No, yeah.
Yeah. Like how many do you think you guys would do in a year? And are you charging them at the same rate as like your regular rate card, or are you charging them even more?
You'll find what we, first of all, in a year, what we do is Yeah, I would say there'll be like 3 or 4 in a year. Not too many, but also it varies. Sometimes it could be 2, sometimes, but then on average maybe 3 or 4.
Okay.
What they so what you'd find is that you'd probably charge the market rate, but you find that you're just there for like 15, 20 minutes or 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You're just doing a song or two. And yeah, so you can still charge your full rate, and what would perform for 2 hours
Yeah.
can get
You
it in
perform
30
in
minutes.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how much does it cost to get Sauti Sol to perform now? What's your rate card right now? Or I don't know if you guys are still like performing together, but before, because like I hear like what's Burna Boy? Is it like $27,000 or something? Or maybe actually, maybe I'm misremembering.
maybe upwards of upwards of $300,000.
I'm misremembering. But like, yeah, like how much would you guys cost?
I don't know. Should I say?
I mean, it should be because like I mean, getting Sauti Sol, not Sauti Sol, like Calligraph, Nasinski. Like, I mean, I guess it's sort of on the streets, like it's known, it's on the Twitter streets at whoever we charge X
coming
amount.
from my mouth.
That's the difference.
That's the difference.
Anyway.
I don't know. Wow. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Would it cost more now to get you guys to perform? Because I guess like
it would.
Than it did like a year or 2 ago.
Yeah.
Because you guys are not.
Yeah, it
like,
would. I think if we were to perform, or if somebody wanted us to perform, it would be, the money would have to be like worth it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this fine. Okay, guys, have you seen what's on the table? Like, yes. Fine, let's do it. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And that would be like upwards of what?
But I would say it's not
200,000,
huh?
100,000, 200,000.
Well, 100,000. Wow, I wish 100,000. That would be wonderful. But it's not way below 100,000.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you think you would have made more money if you were individuals rather than as a group? And why I'm asking this is because every time you get money, it's being split 5 ways or 4 ways or however many different ways it's being split.
Yeah.
And so I would then assume logically that your rate card is then just a lot higher than getting one individual would be. So do you feel like there are a number of gigs that then purely because of the person, whether it's a promoter or whatever the case is, just doesn't have the cash to be able to meet your value? There's a good number of gigs that you guys weren't able to just make, where if, I guess you're individuals, you would have been able to make a lot more money.
I think it's 2 things, like yes, probably as an individual artist, you will make the same or more, and also is it the beauty? It's just that if you're a solo artist and you're big and your value is way up there, yes, you can. It's all the money for you. So I would say we'd never really know. We won't really know, will we? Maybe now we will, seeing as we're all off doing our own things. But I don't know. I think at the end of it all, an artist's value is paid at what their value is, regardless of whether you're solo or in a group. So the only thing is that, of course, for us the money is it's spread out even before it comes back to I guess paying us, so making our lives easier and whatever. We have a lot of overheads that we have to work on. It's expensive to run a band. It is expensive to run a band. Can you imagine what it costs a promoter to pay for flight tickets, for example? Yeah. So
at the minimum, it's just if it was a minimum, it's just the 4 of you. That's a minimum, and of course you're not going just the 4 of you.
So imagine the 4 of us, and you can imagine, for example, we're going to Australia. That's for business class on Qatar. Can you imagine how much that costs? So you can imagine that cost, and you have the band cost, and you have the hotel cost, and it's so yes, it is expensive on the part of the promoter as well to to pay you, such that by the time they're paying you, it's like they they really want you, or they're going to make a profit, or it's it'll make whatever they're doing, it'll make it 10 times better.
Yeah.
But yes, of course, for solo artists, the overheads they're not much.
Yeah,
And you'll find it's probably and for example, even if they don't have a band, or they can have like a minute band, or they can play with a band elsewhere, wherever they are, or they're just traveling with a DJ and a manager. So yeah. So when you look at the
Yeah, I guess could go either
it's
way.
quite
Okay, and I guess as we are winding up and getting to the end of, I guess, more present times for you in Sauti Sol, maybe we can talk a little bit about Soul first, and a little bit around, I guess, the decision to sort of do your own thing.
Yeah.
Again, like you've mentioned, a lot of the decisions that you guys had made were just feelings that you all seem to have mutually around at the same time. And there was never really a person who came and said, hey, this is something I want to discuss. And there was like contrarian points of views. So even now with your going off to do your own things individually, was that something you feel you all felt at the same time? And so it was like, yeah, I think we've done like 20 years of this, and yeah, cool.
Yeah, it was really something that we kind of did feel all at the same time. It was there was just there was a lot of things that happened up until we got to the point where we did.
Yeah.
Those are details, but yeah. Then eventually we decided to just like talk to each other.
Yeah.
And not let some things linger, and also just being honest with each other, and talk about the future and all of that. And
I mean, how difficult was that? I mean, there is a context I'm asking that as well is because they say, people say there's no mutual breakup, right? People
Yeah.
say there's no, there's never a mutual breakup.
yeah.
And I don't want to get into, like get into your details,
Yeah.
but I mean, for you, how difficult was it for you in that process or whatever discussions you guys were having?
It was difficult.
Yeah.
It was weird that that we're having this conversation. It was weird because this is what we've only ever known. So wow. So now I'm off. I don't know, by myself. It was a weird feeling.
Yeah.
And yeah, it hurt. It hurt, but you're just like, it's fine. But then also it was for the better, I think, and that's not of course that would be something weird to say, but yeah, it was. I think it was just time for everyone to find their space in the world. And if we do come back together, then we do at some point. But then also it was to make sure we safeguard what we've built. We safeguard our all the businesses that we have, to make sure that we just don't leave them up in the air.
Yeah.
But but then also this, and you can imagine this feeling what had happened before. Like I think maybe a year or two before we had started feeling a bit weird, and then then we had a conversation.
Yeah.
And we even saw like we also are therapists together.
Yeah.
Like
a couple.
We all went to group therapy. We all went to group therapy. Life coach. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. People opened up.
Yeah.
People cried.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. It brought us closer. Really.
Yeah. What was it, or has it been just outgrowing, the space that you guys had created for yourself? And I mean, I'm thinking about it from the perspective of, like when you're in primary school or high school, and you're moving on to a different space of your life, and you're leaving all these friends you've had for 4 years or 6 years or whatever the case is. And it's just like, it just, it's just where we are, and it just has to be. So I can imagine for 20 years,
Imagine.
yeah, you guys have been, Sauti Sol for 20 years.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's hard. It's a breakup. Like this our relationship has lasted longer than
marriages,
Ben says that, and than our actual relationships.
Yeah.
That we're in and all of that. So yeah, it's yeah, it took a while to digest, and everyone had their own grieving process. So yeah, so when we're out here like just laughing and everything, everybody had their own grieving process.
Yeah.
But there was nothing that was ever against each other.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are asking, kwani amkosana amna beef?
Yeah.
Mna bo? I was just like, no.
Yeah.
We don't.
I mean, but even the Hamna beef, right? Was it from the perspective of you guys have built something that is bigger than you, and it would be commercially irresponsible to
commercially
implode,
irresponsible,
to like let this thing implode. And let me give you an example. Like nothing close to the amount of time that you guys spent together, or that you're together, but like over 25, right? I mean they were a huge culture shaper for a certain segment of our generational population. And when they were done, they were done.
They were done. They were done. We're done.
Like we are done and we are done. Like sayonara. I mean, you guys. I mean, you're planning. I don't know if I'm supposed to say, but you're planning. I mean, this whole fest for this year.
Yeah.
I mean, there's projects. I mean, I know there's a project we have with you guys that's still ongoing.
That's still ongoing.
I mean, this technically is even still at Sauti Sol.
It's technically a Sauti. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I think. But what I'll say is that we also did have a dream before, as stuff started getting serious, and Sauti Sol started becoming like the Sauti Sol that we know now, and all of that. We were also cognizant to the fact that we needed to have, we need to talk about our legacy, and we need to talk about other things that we should do to grow ourselves and our company. And we wanted to build something, which is why we have all that we have, all the businesses that we have that are still running. It's still hard work and struggle, but we didn't want it to be okay. Kulikuwa na watu, kulikuwa na group inaitwa Sauti Sol, walikuwa noma, But I think at the end of it all, even if we don't come back musically, we it's just what we want to show that you can still. There's such a thing as an amicable breakup. Okay,
it may not be mutual, but it's amicable.
It may not be, but it's a breakup.
Right.
And also we're still very much the best of friends. I'm with Bien almost. I'm with not every morning. Like this morning, I was with Bien at the gym, or rather at class. I know I'll see him probably tomorrow. I'll see him probably tomorrow. I'll see him probably on Thursday. I was with Zavara last week. It's just I was with Polycarp last week. It's just we're together. We're in each other's lives. Yeah, like all like intertwined. Yeah, we still talk. We're still the best of friends. Okay. And we still just check up on each other to make sure that what are you doing? Are you okay? How's your work coming along? Yeah. We just as well. Even yesterday we just had a meeting to check up on each other. Yeah. With our board and everything, to just be like, how's everybody? And all of that. So we do have check-ins. Okay. Yeah, because as well it's been a while, so you're just like okay. I hope everybody, everybody's, what's your state of mind? Yeah. Really. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Final question. Mm-hmm. Did you panic individually as Chimano? Did you panic thinking about your earning potential as an individual, without Sauti Sol?
Yes. I did. Yeah. I did. I still do. Yeah. I still do, but I also.
Or has did Sauti Sol create enough of a buffer? Because, like you said, you're still getting paid. Salary, to allow you to be like, I can panic a little, but I'm okay.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
But then also, I think I don't want to it comes a time also like you have to stop depending on it.
Yeah.
But then also I did panic, but then I also decided to just take a break from it, like literally take a break and
Yeah.
not jump back into music and jump back into creativity and all of that. So yeah, of course I did. I was just like, oh my God. Oh my God. Now I'm used to a certain life.
Yeah.
F. So anyway, I yes I did, as I
Yeah.
think as any person would.
Yeah.
But it'll be fine. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'll be amazing, in fact.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That was a great conversation.
Oh,
Yeah?
thank you.
Yeah,
That was great.
I think we heard. I mean, I've definitely learned a thing or two, new things that I didn't know. I think it's been fun. It's been an hour 40 of chatting.
Oh wow, it's been an hour.
An hour
40.
40. Yeah. Yeah.
Jeez. You can talk, Barack. My
Yeah.
God.
No, I can ask. Maybe I can ask. You can talk. But we'll see. I guess really looking forward to see what BN and Tavares say.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess when they come on Thursday.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you for having me. Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Always amazing chatting with you. And yes,
Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. Yeah.
we'll see what happens. Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. This was Financially Incorrect. This is our series with Sauti Sol. We hope that you'll enjoy these stories. And we'll see you guys in the next episode.